Okay, so welcome to the presentation on revision that we have created. This presentation is based off the teachings of an esteemed author and educator by the name of Donald M. Murray. He teaches us some steps on how to revise, and it's a very colorful way to revise other than using your grammatical errors and vocabulary. So let's start our presentation by a question. Do you know how to revise your writing? And you're probably thinking, yeah, I'm pretty confident. I learned the steps in high school. I know how to fix my grammar, know how to exchange my word choice for better words, things like that. So we were pretty confident too that we knew how. But we were wrong. So let's go back to Donald Murray. He was introduced to us as the godfather of revising. He was obviously, as I said before, an established writer and educator. He wrote an article called The Maker's Eye, Revising Your Own Manuscript. And this article based 7 steps off of how you reread your own article and you detach yourself when you reread this article. And he explains what to do while you're rereading. So these other little bullet points that we put at the bottom of our slide are just key points that we found in this article that we really valued and we really connected with. And we'll talk about those at a later time. So Murray's steps are, like I said, have to do with rereading. So reread that draft, reread that draft, reread your draft. So he wants us to first reread our draft for our information. He needs us to look for any unnecessary information or any extra information that we'd like to put into our draft to make sure we get our point across. So then you're going to reread for the meaning of your piece. Make sure your meaning's coming across to your audience. Next, you're going to be rereading for your audience. Are you reflecting and relating to them? Is this something that they need to be entertained by or information they need to value? Keep that in mind. Next, you reread your draft for your form. Make sure you're putting across exactly what you mean to put across. And then your structure. Is your structure in order based on what information you put in there? And then reread for development. Are you preparing your reader each time you set them up for a new part of information? And then the very last thing he wants you to reread for or consider is your voice. Is this your writing? Does your personality come out? Are you showing what to do? These are very helpful when you're rereading. This isn't for grammatical corrections or this isn't for any kind of textbook model of writing. It's meant to make your creativity better. It's meant to, I guess, value your own perspective when you're writing. Okay, so going to our first key point that we valued. We valued this quote, "The maker's eye is never satisfied," because in his article he speaks about rereading and revising and critiquing your work so often that the work's never done. It's something that is completely colorful and interchangeable. You can put whatever you want in your writing, however you want, and it doesn't have to be good enough. He claims that other writers quoted to have revised their writings 150 times or up to But that's not something we all expect every single writer to do. Understand that this is your house that you're creating. So you can make your house however you want to look. You can decorate it, you can make it plain. You can revise your house to be gigantic or very little. It's however you want it, as long as you get your point across. So the next thing that Murray quoted that stuck out to us in his summary was the writer must be accepting of criticism from others and cannot and be suspicious of it, meaning that you cannot rely on others for your revision. This is where detaching yourself comes in handy. When you're reading it from a different perspective, you can place yourself in readers' shoes, and you can see how they feel when they read it, obviously. So the last thing that stuck out for us in this summary that Murray stated was cut what is bad and reveal what is good. So this can kind of go back to the information step, but you can really use it in all 7 steps. So anything that's bad, that's unnecessary, that's extra, take it out. You don't need it. Reveal what your point is. Make sure that this is something that's colorful and explained and something that they can imagine and enjoy, or even see how doing in their head. This is the whole value of your revision. This is what makes it better. Okay, so let's talk about using your ear as a tool. Listening to your own writing really helps with sentence structure, word flow, all of the above. Murray believed that it was vital to listen to your own voice. It was a force which drives your piece of writing in its expression of your authority and concern. So be consistent with your voice. Make sure it's you speaking in your writing and not quoting somebody else like I just did, because that's boring. I thank everybody for watching, and next time if you rewatch again, keep an eye out for all my errors that I made within the writing.